apparently with the 32s, all of the power sort of goes through your switches, and that tends to burn out your switches or melt connectors, which I have replaced one of the main sort of connectors there. And everything was working fine, temporarily. I lost high beams for my left side. Can't seem to figure out why it doesn't want to switch to high beam. It just keeps the low beam on. Looking at a whole bunch of stuff on forums and like old Facebook pages. What a lot of people do is they chuck in relays. There's like a 6-pin factory relay that's in this fuse box. I pulled that relay out and everything still worked the same as it had before, so I have no idea what that relay is doing. But the way we're going to do this, all that's going to happen is the switches, the power that goes through those switches is now just going to trigger a relay. I don't know how to explain this. I'm hoping people know what a relay does. You have your current from the battery goes to the relay, and then on the other side of the relay, that feeds whatever you're trying to turn on. But there's a little switch in there, which gets triggered by a different current that comes through. So that's when I flick my headlights on, that triggers the switch. That closes the circuit, I guess, and gives you that battery power all the way through to what is going to be our headlights. Got these from eBay. Everywhere I looked, I could only find the female ends. This is going to go into our factory plug. And then we've got our 2 power wires, so our high beam, low beam, and our ground. High beam one will go to one relay, low beam one will go to a different relay. So that's going to be our trigger. What I might just do, I might just piss about with this for like the next 10-15 minutes, see if I can get some sort of loosely rigged circuit happening. I'm very aware this soldering gun is way too big. Soldering's not really my thing, so do this in a well ventilated area, guys. It's alright. I haven't got the whole thing covered. I'm dripping a lot of it on the table, but don't worry about it. The lights are already grounded. If this runs to this instead, that grounds the relays. Then I'm not having to have a bunch of wires just randomly grounded around in the chassis there. In the chassis and the engine bay. And I plug this all into my headlight harness that's on the car. And flick my headlights, I should hear the relays click once I put these ones in. So that little flick is the main circuit, or the high power circuit getting turned on. And if I flick over to high beams, that should be going to my red wire. So I just got to solder the ground for these, and then that's all the signal stuff for them. Then I just need to do powering for the actual lights. This is just turning into a mess. Oh, yes! So it's all loosely in the car. I'm going to try my best to sort of show the mapping of it now. Here's our left-hand headlight, so that comes from over there. Here's our right-hand headlight. The blue on both of these, so the blue there and the blue here, that is our high beam. And then the yellow here and the yellow here, that's low beam. So both of those are positive wires. The brown on this one and brown on this one, that's our ground. So those two come back here. It's got it on the little terminal up here. Then this is our factory plug on this side. This is our new plug here. So we've got the yellow, which is our low beam, so that corresponds with the yellow one here. And then the red is our high beam, the ground is the black, so that's just grounded back through all the original harness. So this here is just our signal wire to trip our relays up the top here. So one relay is our high beam, one is our low beam, so the red one goes to our high beam, the yellow one goes to our low beam, and then we've got our sort of clear-ish wire, the silver gold, so it's just probably going to go into one of these little little rings here. Headlight wide, I just have to actually put them on. I might plug them in first and make sure they both work. Two Parkers, two headlights, and high beams that are not aligned at all, but that's fine. Working lights again. Alright, now to go get some rego for this thing.